In the
I've been around a
end,
long time, seen a lot of
we all
things, made
face
a
the
lot of
shadows
movies
of our
about tough
choices.
men facing impossible choices. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for what happened to me 3 nights ago. And I'm telling you this because if I don't, I won't be able to live with myself. Especially knowing what's coming before the end of December 2025, and knowing that I could have said something to help. My name is Clint Eastwood. I'm 94 years old. I've directed films, acted in them, lived a life that most people would call extraordinary. But I'm just a man, a regular guy, who happened to make some movies. And 3 nights ago, something happened that I still can't fully explain, but I know deep in my bones that it was real. I had a dream. Now, before you dismiss this as the ramblings of an old man, hear me out. This wasn't like any dream I've ever had. It was vivid, crystal clear, more real than the room I'm sitting in right now. In this dream, I found myself in a place I can only describe as timeless. There was light everywhere, but it wasn't harsh. It was warm, comforting, like the first light of dawn breaking over the desert. And then, he was there, Jesus Christ, standing right in front of me. Now, I've never been the type to wear my faith on my sleeve. I was raised with religion, sure, but I've always been a private person about these things. I believe in God. I believe in doing right by people, but I'm not the guy who's going to stand on a street corner preaching. So, you can imagine my shock when I realized who was standing before me. There was no doubt in my mind it was him. The presence, the eyes, there was a depth to them that went beyond anything human. Compassion, yes, but also a gravity, a seriousness that made my heart pound. He looked at me, and he spoke. His voice wasn't loud, but it filled everything. It filled me. Clint, he said, I have chosen you to deliver a warning, a message for those in their golden years, those who have lived long and seen much. The end of December 2025 is approaching, and many are unprepared for what is to come. I stood there, or maybe I was sitting. I couldn't really tell just listening. My mind was racing, trying to process what was happening. Jesus Christ was talking to me about the end of December 2025, the final days of the year, the holiday season. What's going to happen? I asked. My voice came out steadier than I expected. He looked at me with those eyes, and I saw something that shook me. Sorrow mixed with determination. A great deception is coming. He said, a crisis that will target the elderly, the vulnerable, those who have worked their entire lives and deserve peace in their final years. Before the end of December 2025, a coordinated scheme will be unleashed. It will come disguised as help, as charity, as love. But it is designed to rob, to steal, and to leave your generation confused, impoverished, and alone. I felt my chest tighten. What kind of scheme? Technology, he said. False emergencies, voices that sound like loved ones. Messages that appear to come from trusted institutions. During the final days of December, when families gather and guards are down, when hearts are open and people are distracted by celebration and year-end activities, the enemy will strike. Phone calls claiming grandchildren are in jail, emails appearing to be from banks, text messages with urgent pleas, all designed to exploit the trust and generosity of those who have lived with honor. I've seen a lot in my life, but hearing him describe it with such specificity, it chilled me to the core. This wasn't some abstract spiritual warning. This was concrete. This was real. This was about my generation, about people I know and care about. Why the end of December? I asked. Why those final days? Because that is when people's hearts are most open, he replied. When the elderly are most likely to want to help, to give, to respond with love. The deceivers know this. They know that grandparents will do anything to help a grandchild in trouble. They know that seniors who have saved their whole lives will act quickly if they believe their bank account is compromised. They know that loneliness is sharpest during holidays, making people vulnerable to scams, promising companionship, or threatening isolation. He paused, and the weight of what he was saying settled over me like a heavy blanket. But there is hope, he continued. If people prepare, if they understand, if they take action now before it is too late, that is why I am sending you with this message. You have a voice that people trust. You have lived a life that commands respect. And you are one of them, a senior yourself. They will listen to you. I nodded slowly, understanding the responsibility he was placing on my shoulders. What do I tell them? What should they do? And that's when he gave me the plan, the specific steps, the practical wisdom that I'm about to share with you now. Because if you're listening to this, if you're a senior or you know and love someone who is, this information could save everything you've worked for. It could protect you from devastation. It could be the difference between peace in your golden years and catastrophic loss. Jesus looked at me and said, "Tell them this. First, they must understand the tactics of the enemy. The scammers will use artificial intelligence to clone voices. They will call before the end of December claiming to be a grandchild, crying, panicked, saying they've been in an accident or arrested and need money immediately. The voice will sound exactly like their grandchild. Exactly. But it will be a lie," he continued. "Tell them if you receive such a call, hang up immediately. Do not send money. Do not provide information. Call your grandchild directly on a number you already have saved. Call their parents. Verify everything. No real emergency requires you to act in seconds. No real grandchild would want you to empty your savings without verification. This is crucial. Hang up, breathe, call the person directly." I was absorbing every word, knowing I had to remember all of this. Second, he said they must protect their financial information like their life depends on it, because their quality of life does depend on it. Before the end of December, there will be emails and texts claiming to be from banks, from Medicare, from Social Security. They will have official logos. They will sound professional. They will create urgent scenarios. Your account has been compromised. Click here immediately. Your benefits will be suspended unless you verify your information. Suspicious activity detected. Confirm your identity now. Jesus leaned closer, his voice intensifying. Tell them. Their bank will never ask for passwords or social security numbers via email or text. Medicare will never call demanding immediate payment. Social Security will never threaten to suspend benefits unless personal information is provided over the phone. These are all lies, all deceptions. Delete these messages. Call the official number from a bill or statement, never from the message itself. Go to the website by typing it directly into the browser, never by clicking a link in an email. The clarity with which he spoke, the specific nature of the warnings, it was clear this wasn't abstract spiritual guidance. This was tactical information, battlefield intelligence, for a war being waged against the most vulnerable. Third, he continued, they must trust their instincts. Tell them that if something feels wrong, it is wrong. If someone is pressuring them to act immediately, it is a scam. If someone is asking them to buy gift cards to solve a problem, it is a scam. If someone is asking them to withdraw cash and give it to a courier, it is a scam. No legitimate organization, no real family member in genuine need, no government agency operates this way. I could feel the urgency in his words, the deep concern for people who had worked their whole lives only to be targeted in their moment of vulnerability. Fourth, they must not be isolated. Isolation is the enemy's greatest weapon. Tell them. Talk to someone before making any financial decision in response to an unexpected call or message. Talk to a child, a neighbor, a friend. Scammers rely on secrecy. They will say, "Don't tell anyone," or "This must be handled immediately." There's no time to discuss it. These are red flags. Real emergencies allow for a 5-minute conversation with a trusted friend. Fake emergencies fall apart the moment light is shined on them. He paused and I saw something shift in his expression. A tenderness mixed with strength. Fifth, and this is perhaps most important, tell them to strengthen their spiritual armor. This attack is not merely financial. It is spiritual. It preys on fear, isolation, and the desire to help others. Those who are grounded in faith, who pray regularly, who maintain community with other believers, who trust in me rather than panicking in fear, these people will have discernment. They will hear the small voice a warning. They will sense when something is off. They will have the strength to hang up, to wait, to verify. I felt my throat tighten. This wasn't just about protecting bank accounts. This was about protecting dignity, independence, and peace of mind in the final chapters of life. What else? I asked, what else can they do? Tell them to prepare specific defenses before the end of December arrives. He said, have a family code word. If a grandchild really needs help, they should know to use this word. Without it, assume it's a scam. Set up call blocking on their phones. Register with the Do Not Call registry, though it won't stop all scammers. It will reduce volume. Consider using a service that screens unknown calls. Set up two-factor authentication on all financial accounts that use a method other than SMS. Use an authenticator app or a physical security key. The detail was staggering. He was giving me a complete action plan. Tell them to freeze their credit with all 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. This prevents anyone from opening new accounts in their name. It's free, it's easy, and it can be temporarily unfrozen when they need to apply for credit themselves. Tell them to set up alerts with their bank and credit cards. Notifications for every transaction, no matter how small. This way, if unauthorized activity occurs, they'll know immediately. He went on, tell them to be especially cautious about posting on social media. Scammers build profiles of their victims. They learn grandchildren's names from Facebook posts. They learn travel plans, health issues, financial situations. Tell seniors to make their social media accounts private, to be selective about what they share, and to educate their children and grandchildren about not posting information that could be used against a family. I was memorizing it all, knowing that every detail mattered. And tell them this, Jesus said, his voice softening. They are not alone. I am with them in their uncertainty, in their confusion, in their moments of fear. When the phone rings with a strange number during those final December days, I am there. All they need to do is pause, breathe, and pray. Even a simple Jesus, give me wisdom, is enough. I will provide clarity. I will provide peace. I will help them discern truth from lies. There was a long moment of silence. The light around us seemed to pulse gently, warm and reassuring. Why me? I finally asked. Why give this message to me? He smiled. The first time I'd seen him smile during this encounter. It was gentle knowing, because you understand the value of preparation. Your films often feature men who succeed not through recklessness, but through careful planning, through reading situations, through staying calm under pressure. This is what your generation needs now. Not panic, not paranoia, but calm, a determined preparation. He was right. In my movies, the heroes weren't usually the flashiest or the loudest. They were the ones who stayed cool, who thought things through, who were ready when the moment came. Also, he added, because you are trusted. People have watched you for decades. They know you're not prone to hysteria. When you speak, people listen. And right now, this message needs to be heard. Millions of seniors are unprepared. Millions will lose everything before the end of December if they don't take action now. You can help prevent that. The weight of it settled on me fully. This wasn't just a dream. This was a mission. One more thing, he said, his expression growing serious again. Tell them that the scammers will evolve. What I'm describing for the end of December 2025 is just the beginning. Technology will continue to advance. Deceptions will become more sophisticated. But the principles remain the same. Verify everything. Trust no urgent demand for money or information. Protect personal data. Stay connected to community. Maintain spiritual grounding. These principles will serve them not just during the holiday season, but in all the days to come. I nodded, understanding that this was about building long-term resilience, not just surviving one period. Go now, he said. Deliver this message. Help your generation stand firm against what is coming. And remember, perfect love casts out fear. This warning is not meant to frighten, but to empower. Knowledge is power. Preparation is strength. Community is protection. And faith is the ultimate shield. The light began to grow brighter, and I felt myself being pulled away from that place. Wait, I called out. How will they know this is real? How will they know I'm telling the truth? His voice came to me one last time. They will know because the warning will prove true. And they will know because you speak with the sincerity of someone who has nothing to gain and everything to give. Trust in that. Trust in me. And then I woke up. I was in my bed in my home, and it was still dark outside. I looked at the clock. 3:47 a.m. My heart was pounding. I was covered in sweat. But I knew, absolutely knew, that what I had experienced was real. Not a dream in the normal sense. A visitation, a message, a calling. I got up immediately and started writing. I wrote down everything he had told me, every detail, every instruction, every warning. And now I'm sharing it with you. Look, I know some of you might think I've lost it. That's fine. I'm 94 years old. I can handle a little skepticism. But I'm telling you this because I believe it's true, and because I believe it could save you or someone you love from devastating loss. The end of December 2025 is coming. Those final days of the year. Days that should be about joy, family, and celebration. But if you're not prepared, they could become the days you lose everything you've worked for. So, here's what I'm asking you to do before the end of December arrives. Sit down and implement these protections. Have the conversation with your family about a code word. Set up the call blocking and fraud alerts. Freeze your credit. Make your social media private. Tell your children and grandchildren about these scams so they can help protect you and watch for warning signs. And before the end of December itself, be especially vigilant. If you get a call from an unknown number, let it go to voicemail. If you get an urgent message claiming to be from a loved one in trouble, hang up and call them directly. If you receive an email or text about your bank account or benefits, delete it and contact the organization through official channels you've verified independently. Don't let urgency override wisdom. Don't let panic override prudence. Don't let the desire to help override the need to verify. You've lived too long and worked too hard to be taken advantage of by cowards hiding behind phones and computers. You deserve to enjoy your golden years in peace, with dignity, with the security you've earned. This is my message to you. This is what I was told to share. Whether you believe it came from Jesus in a dream or just from an old man who's worried about his generation, the advice is sound. The warning is real. The danger is coming. Prepare now. Protect yourself. Stay connected to people you trust. Keep your faith strong. And before the end of December 2025, be ready because as I've learned in 9 decades of life, and as I was reminded 3 nights ago, the best way to face any threat is to see it coming and be prepared when it arrives. God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay smart.